This site is located in one of the major roads which actually connects the city with its suburbs. This road is called Pukatuvadi Road and a fast developing commercial artery of the city. Anvar is a businessman based in Cochin. He has two children. Son is an architecture student and daughter is studying medicine. So grown-up children, his wife and his mother. So it's a 4-bedroom house with the usual requirements of a middle-class family. The site is located in his ancestral property where he had a house originally, and part of this plot was converted into a commercial land. The site is located essentially 2 kilometers from Edappally junction, and this is the road that leads from Edappally junction towards Pukatuvadi. In the neighborhoods, these are actually essentially 2 or 3 storied houses mostly. Some commercial properties are developing gradually. There are some apartments also coming up in this neighborhood. So this is the access to the commercial property. And this is actually minus 3 meters below our present property. So the main idea of the house is to limit that house to as far back as possible and leave a nice green space in front. There is sufficient space in front for the highway to expand, have a sufficient foreground in front of the house. We scooped that land out and extended the commercial go down space below the house and created the house where its normal site level was. So essentially this house is 2 blocks. That's the living and the bedroom block, and that's the kitchen block. And then there's a double height space which is connecting the north and the south open spaces. And then we have the dining room in the middle, the family room, the dining room, and the drawing room here. At the first floor, we repeated the same bedrooms on the top, and above the family room, we created a small home theater space. Essentially, what we did is to leave that central space as a double height, and then link the 2 spaces through a bridge, which actually gives you the experience of the dining room as well as the courtyard. So that's the common area of the house. There is a upper living room here, beyond which was the utility room, and then a small utility terrace behind. The stair is located at the end of this public space, overlooking the double height drawing room. Another major decision that we took in this house was to take out the carporch, so that the carporch doesn't obstruct the view of the house. Close to the road, space for 2 cars to park, to create this as a grass jointed paving so that the green of this lawn merges into the car drive area. Another space that we created at the first floor was the space above the carporch, which is an open terrace garden. And utilizing the level difference of the site, we actually gave a flight of steps to reach to the space above, create a nice sitting area with some plants and overlooking the road in front. What we also did is to extend a wall as a gesture of connecting the site to its surroundings. Another element that we added was to bring in that sloped wall, angular wall, connect the interior open space to the outside, and there is a small lobby sort of area at the front, connected to the step. So what we also did is to create a small canopy in front, so that it becomes a covered sitting area, and then the rest of the space was made into a terrace garden. So essentially, the rest of the area is a nice open space with plants and greenery, and at the front of the site is a sort of pavilion which overlooks the road at the front and the garden behind. At the rooftop, what we also did is to introduce built-in planters at the top, so that those were all plants, and then we introduced large planter boxes where small trees could be planted. So these are all fruit trees which were planted at the top. We also created a nice creeper garden, extending the sit-out space to under the plant. The section of the house, the plot was like that. So his commercial property is here at a lower level, that's 3 meters below. So we essentially scooped this land out and built a commercial space at that scooped area and extended the commercial come go down space to below the house. What we essentially did is to create those bedrooms on one side and create a nice drawing room and the courtyard as double height spaces, and created that terrace garden at the top. The house is insulated by this terrace garden at the top. It has the courtyard in between. So this drawing room is a double height space, and at the one end we kept the stairs, and the stair extends as a bridge connecting the bedroom block, and the stair goes up to the rooftop and opens up to the open space at the top. The drawing room sits at a slightly lower level and the rest of the house is at a higher level. So in the longitudinal section, we scooped out this area and created base below, and the site gently slopes down to the road. That's the dining room, which is a double height space. We have another double height space, which is the sit out, and a bridge connecting the two spaces. The bridge is at one end of the dining room, so that while one walks across the bridge, one gets a view of the dining room as well as the courtyard. So courtyard is a slightly sunken area with lots of plants growing. The courtyard has pergolas above so that it admits only sufficient light. There is another sit out behind the dining room, which is a single height space. Above that we have the utility space. We also provided solar panels at the top, which additionally reduce the carbon footprint of the house. And the wall which we have devised, which is the slanting wall which slants into and joins the house with the carports. We also ensured that the house was sufficiently set back from the neighborhood, ensured that there is enough greenery around the house. Looking back, this was a good attempt at how to integrate the house into its neighborhood, how to fit the house into its locality by weaving the house sort of, instead of presenting it as a single mass, to split it up, to break it into different levels and interspersed with greenery and merge the house into its surroundings.